First, determine how big you want your shelf to be. Then cut your upper and lower panels out of 1/2-inch plywood. The panel should be the size of the shelf minus the width of your perimeter panels. In my case, I subtracted 3/4 of an inch for the front panel and 1 1/2 inch for the two side panels. Use a scrap piece of LED light channel to determine the size of the rabbet in the edge of the bottom panel for the hidden LED lights. I cut the rabbet on a table saw with multiple passes and cleaned it up with a chisel. Measure and cut the side and front pieces. I used 1x3 boards with basic miter joints in the corners. Now assemble the front and side pieces to the top and bottom panels using glue and brad nails. Because I couldn't nail into the narrow front edge with the rabbet, I added a support to help align the bottom panel in the middle and just glued it in place. Fill all holes with wood filler. Rough sand the shelf with 120 grit sandpaper. This shelf will be painted, so I'm not concerned with sanding through the plywood veneer. Build the frame. First, cut a test piece to make sure the frame fits right inside the shelf. It should be snug but not tight. Once you like the fit, determine how much wood you will need for the frame. I like to make the frame about 2 inches smaller than the opening on all sides. This allows a bit of adjustment later and ensures you won't hit any nails that may have poked through during assembly. Then rip all the frame pieces to the right width. Then cut them all to the right length. Lay out the frame, then clamp all the pieces into place. Pre-drill all the holes with a countersinking bit and then screw the frame together. Finally, test fit the frame inside the shelf. Caulk all seams and gaps with paintable caulk. Sand again with 220 grit sandpaper. Now prime the shelf. Once the primer is dry, drill some holes with a countersink bit to screw the shelf to the frame, and then lightly sand again with 220 grit sandpaper. Now paint the shelf. Lay down a bead of CA glue and then install the LED light strip channel. Before doing this, I spray painted it white to match the shelf. Next, drill a hole for the wire, feed the wire into the hole, and solder the wires to the LED light strip. Now cut the diffuser to length and snap it into place. Mark out a level line where you want to put the shelf and mark out all the stud locations. Drill a hole for the wire to pass through the wall. Mark out the location for the wall plate. Be sure it's in the same wall cavity as the hole you drilled above. Carefully cut out the drywall for the plate. Fish the wire through the wall using fish tape. Now install the wall plate. Install the frame. Start by drilling a hole where the wire will pass through. Then mark the locations of the studs on the frame and then start the screws. I use 3-inch wood screws and washers. Run the wire through the hole and screw in one of the screws. Now make sure the frame is perfectly level and then screw in the rest of the screws. Install the LED light controller of your choice using the manufacturer's instructions. Slide the shelf partway over the frame. Run the wires through the frame and connect the wires. Tuck them back into the shelf cavity and push the shelf against the wall. Before screwing the shelf to the frame, test the LED lights to make sure they function how you want them to. I use Smartthings and Google Home to control these lights. Finally, secure the shelf by screwing it to the frame. Well, that sure did tidy things up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Tell me what you guys think. Hey Google, turn the light off.